And please keep it going for Shawn, everyone.
Hi. Okay, so my story of taking a risk goes all the way back to when I was in 8th grade, and there was a thing in our middle school, actually our junior high, and it was called the Valley Forge Relays. And that night, it was a big running event, lots of running, people running really, really fast. And I wasn't part of it because I didn't run fast. I ran very slow. Still do. So then there was a dance that night, and I was completely, utterly uncool, just really uncool. And so, my friends and I, who were also pretty uncool and not very fast, decided to go play a game for a while, and we got bored. And then some of the 7th graders came by, and we started talking about how lame this running event was. So there was this girl there who was, 7th grade, and she's sitting there, and she's like, well, if you're so cool, what can you do? Well, I only had one talent. I could climb things, and I could jump off of things. And at one point I had jumped off of this wall next to the stairs at this one library in Wayne, nameless. And then I've also jumped off of a lot of trees, but I could climb really, really well. So I said I could definitely jump off the school. I didn't really think about how high the school was, but I was like, if I can get up there, I'm sure I can probably parkour my way down or something. So there's just to set the scene here, there's a front sort of walkway where there's a raised section. It's about 10 feet high. And then the actual school itself is far higher than that, about 6 extra feet. So I go up on that walkway, and I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, all right, people start to gather around. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to jump off this. This is about 10 feet. I've done this before. And they're like, no, that's not the school. I'm like, wait a second. Oh, yeah, there. So I go up there, and so it's way higher than anything I've ever jumped off of. So I'm looking down, and I see her, and I see the other people, and they're all looking up at me. And I in my memory, the gravel is actually like kind of moving off the edge of it, like when someone is about to commit suicide. And I'm thinking to myself, a far smarter person would have never dared this. A less smarter person probably would be thinking about their mom, who works in a hospital, seeing them in the emergency room, probably with broken femurs and other disastrous things. So I'm standing there and I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about this girl that I really want to impress. She's tall and she's thin. She's got freckles and bangs, and she probably doesn't know how tragically uncool I am. So, just to spoil something, I don't die, in case you were thinking I die. And this is like a ghost story of some sort. It's not. Okay. So I'm up there and I'm about to jump, and then I see a familiar face. It's my social studies teacher, and he looks up and he goes, "Get the hell down from there!" So I panic, because he's about as scary as a thing as jumping off a roof. So I jump down to the walkway, not being very careful, just freaking out. And when I land, my left ankle turns from that 6-foot drop, and my ankle turns, and I felt my foot hit the side of my ankle. So I didn't come out of this okay. But I did get down off the walkway, and there is a lightning of pain just going up my leg, like just shock. Right? So I'm just sitting there, and I sit down, and people start to wander away because they're like, oh, that was anticlimactic. But the girl doesn't leave. She stays around. She's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I say one thing. Are you going to the dance tonight? And she says, I am. And I think to myself, she's going to remember me if I go to this dance. And I know something really horrible has happened to me. So the whole rest of the day, I get home finally, and I can barely walk. And I have a sister who's basically sort of like my partner in crime. And I knew if my mom saw my ankle, she would just not only just ground me, but then she would also like send me to the emergency room. It'd be horrible. So my sister took this gauze, the gauze that you wrap stuff in, and she wrapped it about as tight as humanly possible so that the next day I would have like blue sort of marks from where the swelling hadn't quite gotten there, And I went to that dance, and it started a whirlwind romance that lasted a whole 7 days.
Shawn, everybody.